Jurors in the murder trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin will deliberate for a second day today. Full day today as the fate of the ex-cop rests in their hands after weeks of testimony and arguments from both sides. Yesterday, one of the prosecution's attorneys told the jury to use their common sense and to believe their eyes in reference to the video of the encounter between Chauvin and George Floyd. As you say, Anne-Marie, the city of Minneapolis is on alert as officials anticipate potential unrest in the days following a verdict. Last night, there was a large-scale peaceful demonstration in the area. For more on this, let's bring in Skyler Henry on the ground in Minneapolis. Skyler, remind our viewers what we know about the 12 jurors in this case.
Well, hey, Vlad, good morning to you. Well, this is going to be one of the more diverse jury pools that the city of Minneapolis has had, according to some of the legal experts that we've spoken to here in Hennepin County. It's predominantly a white area. Now there's going to be 4 black jurors, 2 who identify as multiracial, and 6 who are white. We should also point out that most of this jury is a young group, most of them younger than the age of 50. Now, this is a jury that we have been paying attention to throughout the recent weeks as this trial has gone on. Remember, a couple of weeks ago, one of them had to leave the courtroom complaining of stress-related issues after having a lack of sleep and also being impacted by the emotional testimony inside of the courtroom. And then they also concerned by the defense that one of the jurors could be impacted by what's going on in nearby Brooklyn Center with the incident involving that police officer who shot and killed Dante Wright. And so they were wondering if the jury could potentially be tainted in any way. The judge decided to move forward in this case, and so now they will continue the deliberations in a few hours.
So speaking of that, how will the jury, what do we know about how their deliberations will sort of unfold, how they'll be working? There was an awful lot of video evidence, a lot of expert testimony, and we know that they stayed pretty late last night, but I don't think that's the expectation is that they'll be deliberating late into the night every evening. I don't know.
Well, it could be. This really is up to the jury in terms of how long they choose to work. They got a late start yesterday. I think many of the jurors expected to get rolling a little earlier, but because of that long closing arguments between the state and defense, they got rolling a little late, wrapping up at about 8 o'clock local time. But they will be working off of a laptop computer so that they can see video and audio evidence. One thing to note here, they do not have transcripts from inside of court, only relying on the notes that they may have potentially taken as the trial has gone on. But again, they have to work through all of that evidence. Each of the jurors working through that, paying attention to what may come on that laptop video. Remember, they have to reach a consensus on each of those charges against Derek Chauvin.
And Skyler, just give our viewers a sense of what you're seeing on the ground there in terms of security posture, in terms of National Guard troops, police presence, boarded up buildings. What are you seeing?
Yeah, so we've been here for the last few days or weeks or so, and I can tell you it's certainly ramped up, particularly as it pertains to National Guard. There are more than 3,000 troops that have been deployed here to the city. Seemingly on every street corner, there's a new truck with Guard members standing by. They're in front of grocery stores even, just anticipating any sort of potential unrest that may come. We know that troops have been in front of the Hennepin County Government Center where this trial has gone on throughout the duration of the trial. There's concrete barriers, there's fencing around the building, there's also other measures in place to try to make sure that everyone is as safe as possible. As you mentioned, buildings are starting to be boarded up, businesses concerned about any potential damage that they saw last year. They don't want that to happen again. So I think this is certainly a very anxious city as we all wait and see what happens in terms of a verdict.
Yeah, not just in Minneapolis, cities across the country are preparing as well. Skyler, thank you.